Namaste and welcome to my Navratri podcast on Hindu gods on the platform Kyaa, Matlab. In this podcast, I talk about the very beautiful goddess Shailaputri, whom we all celebrate on day one of Navratri. So, who is goddess Shailaputri? Goddess Shailaputri is the first Navadurga worshipped during the first day of Navaratri. The daughter of the mountain king Himavat and the very manifestation of the mother goddess Mahadevi. The word Shailaputri is derived from two words, Shaila meaning mountain and Putri meaning daughter. She's called by different names like Sati Bhavani, Parvati, or even Himavati. The reason why she's called Himavati is because she is the daughter of Parvatraj Himalaya, the king of the Himalayas. And she is the very embodiment of Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva. So how does Goddess Shailaputri look? Goddess Shailaputri is depicted with two hands and has a crescent moon on her forehead. She holds a trident in her right hand and a lotus in her left and rides on the mount Nandi, the bull. Some cultures also call her goddess Parvati, the wife of Lord Shiva, and who's also the very embodiment of patience and the starting point of all our spiritual discipline. These cultures also refer to her as the mother of Lord Ganesha and Lord Muruga. The Shiva and Devi Bhagavata Purana say that Ma Bhagavati in her earlier birth was born as the daughter of Prajapati Daksha. Then her name was Sati and she was married to Lord Shiva. In a sacrificial ceremony organized by her father, Prajapati Daksha, her body was buried in the yogic fire because she could not bear the insult of her husband, Lord Shiva, by her father, Prajapati Daksha, in the sacrificial ceremony. However, in the next birth, she became goddess Parvati, the daughter of Parvataraj Himalaya. The Upanishads further add that she reduced the egotism of Indra and the other devatas. Ashamed, they bowed down and prayed that in fact thou art Shakti. We are Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva are all capable of getting Shakti only from you. Goddess Shailaputri is the essence of earthly existence and her abode is in the Mooladhara chakra. I hope this podcast helps. Thanks for listening. In this podcast, I talk about the very beautiful goddess Brahmacharini. She is the goddess whom we all celebrate on the second day of Navratri. So who is goddess Brahmacharini? Called the mightiest of the Navadurgas, goddess Brahmacharini is the epitome of knowledge and wisdom. She is worshipped on the second day of Navratri and is the second aspect of the Navadurga forms of Mahadevi. So, Ma Durga's manifestation as the one who does penance or tapasya to attain Lord Shiva translates as Brahmacharini Ma. She's called by names like Devi Yogini and Devi Tapaswini. So how does goddess Brahmacharini look? Goddess Brahmacharini is a very important aspect of goddess Parvati. She wears white clothes holding a japamala in her right hand and a kamandalu on her left hand. She basically personifies love and loyalty. Legend has it that This divine form of goddess Brahmacharini is very majestic and illuminant. As advised by sage Narada, she went into deep tapasya for thousands of years to attain Lord Shiva as her consort. She stayed away completely from food and water and consumed only bilva leaves for survival. She was very devoted to Lord Shiva, and due to her tapasya, this unmarried form of Parvati came to be called as Brahmacharini Ma. Lord Shiva was so pleased that he married her eventually. I hope this podcast helps. In this podcast, I talk about the god whom we all celebrate on the third day of Navratri, goddess Chandraghanta. So who is goddess Chandraghanta? Worshipped on the third day of Navaratri, goddess Chandraghanta is the third Navadurga aspect of goddess Mahadevi. She is believed to grant eternal power and strength to her devotees. So how does goddess Chandraghanta look? Goddess Chandraghanta has her body color, which is golden, rides on a lion that represents Dharma, has 10 hands and 3 eyes. Her hands hold weapons like the trident, the mace, the spear, bow, arrow, discus, and the sword. In other hands, she is also holding a lotus, the sacred pot, and a bell. One of the hands also is in the blessing mudra. On her forehead is a crescent moon that looks like a bell in the temple. Therein lies the etymology of the name Chandraghanta, one who has a moon in the form of a bell. Her third eye, situated in the middle of the forehead, is always open. Legend has it that goddess Parvati had done severe penance to attain Lord Shiva as her husband. At this time, Lord Shiva had lost his first wife Sati and had gone to the mountains to mourn her. Eventually, he was impressed with Parvati's devotion and agreed to marry her. In fact, Parvati was Sati reincarnated. When he visited goddess Parvati's home, his form was rather frightening. He had ash smeared all over his body, had matted hair, and wore a garland full of skulls and snakes around his neck. To protect her family, goddess Parvati took on an equally fearful form of Chandraghanta to persuade Lord Shiva to appear in a more appealing form. Lord Shiva immediately agreed and appeared as a prince bedecked with jewels. Happy with this form of Lord Shiva, goddess Chandraghanta married Lord Shiva in a grand ceremony which is celebrated as Mahashivaratri every year. I hope this podcast helps. Bangalore is not short of music schools, art schools, or dance schools. But there's not a single Shloka school that aims at keeping our children abreast of cultural knowledge, thereby tapping an area left untapped, Shloka education. Call me an economist, a Shlokapreneur, or a founder. But first, I'm a theist in every right. Hello, my name is Divyaa Doraiswamy, and I am the founder of Gurukulam, the Shloka Learning Center, the first of its kind online Shloka school. On this platform, Kyaa, Matlab, I will take you through the lesser talked about gods of Hinduism. Stay tuned. कुछ बातों का मतलब, कुछ मतलब की बातें. क्या मतलब?